Hello and welcome to stampinsandyh.com. I am going to show you a video today of one of the last cards that I'm using for now, for a little while anyway, with the Circus and the Vanilla Hodgepodge. I can never say never. You never know when I might bring something back. All right, using the same colors as always, the rich raspberry, pumpkin pie, and chocolate chip. All right, on to the cards. I'm going to start with a base of rich raspberry, and so you got 8.5 inches across, 5.5 inches tall. Folded then makes the base of the card to be 4 1/4 across, 5.5 inches tall. I have mounted onto here a ribbon first, which went all the way around, tied in a knot. To do something like that on the 5.5 inch side, you'll need close to 18 inches of ribbon. I've used the polka dotted ribbon, the raspberry polka dotted ribbon. Pumpkin pie and chocolate chip cardstock. The pumpkin pie cardstock is 3 1/4 by 4. The chocolate chip cardstock is 3 by 3 3/4, all right? So that's going to start our card. I've already punched out some of the images that we will need for the card. I have punched out this image, stamped it in chocolate chip, turned my punch upside down and punched out this scallop with a scallop circle punch. I've already punched out this large circle punch, and works great to use the 1 3/4 inch punch to do that. That is stamped in rich raspberry. And then the other one that I have punched out is the circle, and I use the 1 1/4 inch circle. You could get by easily with a 1 inch circle as well. So those are the 3 images that I'm using on my card. I'm going to start by just mounting this into the top left-hand corner. That's kind of my starting point, if you want to say. I want to make sure that image fits onto my card, and if it does, then I know my other images will line up just fine. So I'm going to start with that. All right, so that's going to go up in the corner like so. All right, my next image, which I could put down, would be this one. And I'm going to put that one down and a little bit to the right. I don't want anything to line up exactly right. Does that make sense? And then the other image that I want to use up here, but I think what I want to do before I do that is add in one of these circle gadgets from the Hodgepodge hardware. Like I said, it would work fine to use the 1 inch punch. I use the 1 1/4 inch punch. You get a teeny bit of overhang there, but you could snip that off if you wanted. I'm just going to leave mine as is. I don't think it's that big a deal. All right. Then what I'm going to do is use a couple of brads. I'm actually going to put a little adhesive around the edge since I used the 1 1/4 inch punch. I have a little overhang, and I can hook that down with the onto that circle hodgepodge piece that way. All right. So stick that onto there. You'll notice that I already have mounted my piece of cardstock onto my card. That's because I want to show you something. In this card, it wouldn't necessarily make a difference, but when we get down to this piece, I will show you about that. What if you want to use brads, but it's going to go through something and you're going to end up seeing the ends of the brads? What can you do about that? Well, here's what I have done. You just feed the brad through the hole and then bend the tines both to the inside, and yes, there's nothing holding that brad in place then. All right, so you could do a couple of different things. You could use glue dots. In this case, I am just going to use a dimensional, and that should hold that in place. I'm going to do the same thing to this side, feed it through, and then just bend the tines back again. And same thing there. I'm going to use a dimensional to get that all stuck down. All right, peel off your dimensionals, the backing of them, and that one's going to go snuggled up in there. All right, something like so. All right, then the other thing I have left to do is this thinking of you. And in this case, that only makes sense to put those tines backwards because this brad, if I went through, would go to the inside of my card. And I just really don't want that. So if there's a way you can cover it up, I would suggest you do that. So I've punched out Thinking of You with a small oval punch. Thinking of You comes from Teeny Tiny Wishes. All right. The thing with the small oval is there's not a lot of leeway between that small oval and the hodgepodge hardware. There's a few different things you can do, but one of the things you can do, and I'm going to do this concept again, is in between kind of that crack and that piece of vanilla paper in there, I'm just going to put in a couple of dimensionals to hold that in there. One thing I have found with the vanilla hodgepodge, the way it's been painted, it is very, very slippery. So you could rough it up if you wanted, you know. I try not to do any more work than I have to. You could rough it up a little bit if you wanted just to get some different adhesives to fit, but I'm just going to use that for now. All right. I'm going to feed one of these through, backwards again if you want to say. Tines go to the inside again, and use a dimensional, and that sticks that all together. And go to the other side, add my other brad. Tines go to the inside again. I don't know, is that the right word? Tines. All right, and whoops. I think I said this before, they're going to fall out if you don't hold them good. Something like that. Peel off all of your dimensionals, stick it on your card down here in the corner, like so, and you are good to go. All right, here's the finished product again, just to show you how it looked. I hope you enjoyed my series of the video tutorials. As always, I'm going to keep doing the videos, but this ends my series of 6 for the hodgepodge hardware and Circus for now. Talk to you soon. stampinsandyh.com or stampinsandyh at YouTube.